Starting and so. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Because today's topic is very important, it might be controversial. So let me state some fact clearly. If I expose lies of pastors of the church, and you call that pride, so you can call me anything you want. I am prideful. If I destroy your statue and I don't worship your false god and I don't worship men, so you can call me anything. But I continue what I'm doing. If you couldn't find a psychologist for me after 20 years, that's your fault. That's your problem. I continue what I am doing. Right? Right. I'm always right. Sometimes even I call myself liar. But I have to continue. There is no way I can go back. I have to continue. I have to go forward until I can unroot it. I can clear every bit of hypocrisy in the church. I continue until then. So today I'm talking about lies of the church. Even there is a book, there is a published book, The Lies Pastors Told Me. You can go to the internet and look for it. You can find a book called The Lies Pastor Told Me. Go for yourself to the internet and look for the book. You can find it. And today I'm talking about 5 lies of the church. 5 lies of the church. Myself heard a lot of lies through the 20 years of believing journey. I started journey 20 years ago. And during this journey, I heard a lot of lies. Name it, every kind of lie. So I choose 5 lies of the church for today. Definitely, none of you remember the time when Catholic Church was in control of the Bible and nobody could understand it. Nobody could read it. You haven't born yet that time. Of course you don't remember it. It was 14th century. And you don't remember because you wasn't born yet. But there was a time that a bold man like me take the duty, take the task to translate the Bible from Latin to English language. But you maybe read in the church history. Maybe you heard about that, Martin Luther. Martin Luther's intention wasn't for division as my intention. If you want to know my intention, I bet you don't know my intention. I bet you don't know. But if you want to know my intention is not division. But I want to make some correction to the church system. That's why I told you we need a new system for the church. Just my intention is correcting the mistakes of the church system. Martin Luther intention was correcting some things that Catholic Church was doing wrong. And up to now, Church didn't accept their mistakes. Me, I don't make any mistakes. So someone has to bring up the problem and correct that problem. Martin Luther protested against Catholic Church. That's we call Protestant. His intention was not dividing, but division happened. Not only one division, but also a lot of division. We have so many denominations today. So many. A start point was that Martin Luther. This division you see in the church, the result of Martin Luther effort. He protests against selling paper. He protests against sending letter to the churches. Some people, some false teacher, they send letter to the churches. I don't know they are successful or not, but they send letter to the churches. You can deep breath and take the bullet. So because they send the letter to organize a false team to attack me. I don't know they will be successful or not. Catholic Church wasn't quiet. The first thing Catholic Church did was calling Martin Luther heresy, heresy, heresy. The first thing Catholic Church did was something like this. And Martin Luther wasn't quiet. Martin Luther continued. Although first he didn't understand the Christianity himself. He was a pastor. He was an ordained pastor by the church itself. He was a monk on the church. And he punished himself. Can you believe it? He was punishing himself because he didn't understand the Bible at that time. Although he was a pastor, but he didn't understand. Can you believe it? And when he understand the Bible, then he correct himself. And after correcting himself, he corrected the church. And division happened. And Catholic Church, after calling him heretic, they try to destroy every book of him. So I told you, burn the books. You can burn the books that you have. You can burn all the books that you have. That is why my duty is confronting false teaching in the church, and I never want separation. But like Martin Luther, somebody have to accept the duty of correcting the mistakes of the church. And we need a new system. Today, unfortunately, after centuries, we are in 21st century. How many centuries passed from Martin Luther? We still say that. Number one lie. Book is for pastors only. That's such a lie. What a lie. What a lie. That's such a lie that we say to the congregation. The book is for pastors only. And even they proud of memorizing the verses. Oh, Corinthians 1:24, blah, 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 blah. Romans 2:14, blah, 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 blah. So what? You memorize the verses. So what? What's the use of memorizing the verses? And they encourage other people to memorize the verses. What's the use of memorizing the verses when you don't understand the meaning of the verse? Just like a parrot, blah, 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 blah. Memorize and repeat. Like those churches, when they gather the money for themselves, they gather the money for themselves. Give me the local church, give me money in the local church. And they pray, they want to pray for the money, and they repeat. That's not a prayer. You don't understand the prayer at all. They repeat everything every week. They repeat the same thing. And you don't know anything about prayer. And you want to get answer to your prayer? How ironic is that? Unbelievable. Do you see those Muslim people that they memorize the Quran? Even they have a good voice and they recite the verses of the Quran, and there is a competition for memorizing and reciting. And oh, so and so have a very good voice, and he memorized the verses of the Quran and he sing it. Those Christian like those Muslim. If you see, some people have a good voice and they use the voice of those person to repeat the memorization of those verses, and they call it worship. I don't think so. That's a worship. Just repeating and repeating some word they memorize. They practice. I see they practice. They practice for memorizing the verses of worship song, and they call it worship, but it's just empty words. Blah 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 blah. That's first lie. Number two lie is pastors have a special place. Who said that? Can you tell me who said that? Pastors have a special place. Exact opposite of this is exactly opposite. Pastors are exactly like other people. There is no special place for pastors. No, no, no. And stop telling lies. Some false teachers said, oh, there was a conference and there is a special place for pastors. Somebody go and sit there. There shouldn't be a special place in the first place for the pastors. So you can shut up. And number three, number third, lies of the church. Leaders of the church are above reproach. That's so ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. You can organize every conference. Holy tears, holy juice, holy car. You can have holy car. You can have conference with whatever name you want. Have conference with whatever name you want. Holy car, holy tear. But the truth is you have lots of problem. You can be blamed for everything, not only one. I wish there was only one problem, or I wish there was only few problem in the church for the leaders of the church. You're gonna die, and it is cultural thing. Actually, you completely mix the Christianity with your own culture. That's the big problem of the church. You're gonna die. That's a cultural thing. When you manipulate, when you hurt other people on purpose, when you lie, when you gossip on purpose, that's the problem of the church. That you have to be blamed for these things that you said, these things that you have done, and you think you are above reproach. How ridiculous is that? That's the third church that you telling these lies. You should be blamed for that. So I don't think you are above reproach. You will be reap the consequences of your action and what you said. You will reap. Don't doubt it. You will reap what you harvested. I know. But what you harvested is a wheat. What you harvested is a lie, cheat, gossiping. That's what you reap. So you harvested from the good tree, you pick the good fruit. From the destroyed and corrupted tree, you cannot get good fruit. When you sow a bad seed, when you sow the lies, and you cannot reap good things. Be certain of this. When you sow bad seed, then you reap bad harvest. And number four is we serve with one heart. That's another ridiculous thing false teacher they say. If you serve with one heart, why there is so many conflict? Why there is so many fight inside of the church? Inside of the church, there is a struggle. I've seen so many times they fired their own pastor. The first church that I came in Canada, they fired their own pastor. And you can say you serve with one heart. How ridiculous is that? What can I say more? I have nothing more to say. You can go and see every church. You can go to every single church and you see a lot of problem. I was going to one church and there was a problem. They picked the lock. There was something in the cupboard, in the locker, and somebody else come and destroy the lock. So we have to change the lock. And you say you serve with one heart? How ridiculous is that? It was just a couple of examples. What I told you was just a couple of examples. There is more problem, more fight inside of the church. And problem goes on and on and on and on. Do you know how many churches divided because of the fight? You can count it. Count how many fight there is inside of the church. From the Martin Luther, that was the first division of the church history. Up to now, there is a lot of fight. There is a lot of division, and everybody said, "I am the best church." When they divide, for example, they divide and establish another church, and they name it. They name anything they want to another church. And there was an Anglican church, and there is a division from Anglican, and they name and they put a name and they started a new denomination, and they say, "Oh, we are the best church. We are the best church." That's everybody thinks, right? Everybody thinks that we are the best church. We are the best teaching. Unfortunately, that's why division happens. I can go on and on and on and on. Why? Because I answer it for you. Because everybody thinks they are better than others. Everybody thinks that their teaching, their understanding of the Bible is the best one. Unfortunately, you can write a journal and think, "Oh, you see, I write a journal, I see those miracles." Write your miracle in the journal, and after seeing those miracles in the journal, "Oh, see, God is with me, so I should be the best one. I am the best church because I have a record of ministry." There is only one God. And those churches, how many churches, how many denominations we have? All of them have record of ministry. Why? If you want to prove anything, but the years of ministry, so many church around the world, they have record of ministry, and their teaching are contradicting with each other. So what? So you cannot prove anything, but years of ministry is nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Years of ministry, record of ministry doesn't mean anything. Even the Mormon, even the Jehovah Witnesses, they have the record of ministry that you maybe don't accept them, but they have record of ministry. Right? Of course I'm right. If we remove truths of the gospel, like today, the sin is officially accepted in the church. If we remove the true gospel and we bring a system from Iran to the church that it is today a system, they bring a system from Iran to the church and remove the truth of gospel. They say, this is the way I want. They bring their own system and They call it ways of God. That's why there is just some blah blah blah. There is a ceremony, there is an event, and they do some certain things, but they has no meaning. Even Buddhism believe in peace. If you believe in peace and you preach peace, even Buddhism believe in peace. So what? You remove the essence of Christianity from the church and replace it with what you want. That's why I love justice. I pray for justice. And your hope is fake. Your hope is fake. That's why Christianity gone wrong. We need a new system for the church. The heart of the church, teaching of the church is heart of the church. If you're so worried about the heart, teaching of the church is the heart of the church. And you destroy the teaching of the church, you corrupted the heart of the church with false teaching. That's why I'm telling you, we need a new system. You are such a liar. And number 5. So we reach to lie number 5. God, I find this from the internet. It was so interesting because sometimes I research all the time. I research because I want to learn new things. I started recently biblical archaeology. I want to learn biblical archaeology. So I research in the Bible about the lies of the church. And this is from the church. Number 5. God literally has a plan for every tiny, insignificant decision you make. If you fail to stick to this plan, your life may be ruined and you are making a mess. But only your parents know what God's plan for you is. Some pastors, they call themselves a father, father, father. They encourage people, they call them a father, father, father after father after father after father. They encourage other people, they encourage viewers to call themselves father. And they say, Yalla, اگه آماده بیا من بهت بگم چیکار بکنی. It doesn't work like this. They want to dictate every single decision of the people under their care. God put some people under your care. You shouldn't be God over them. You shouldn't control them. That's so wrong. So wrong. You cannot dictate every decision to the people of the church. That's number 5. That's lie number 5. It wasn't one person, one seminar, one book, one church. And it's not. It spread along the churches. It was entire world of religious. That's why we need a new system. They curated a circle of lies, and they encourage people to join those circle of lies. I was the insider, the true believer, the enlightened one. Anyone outside of the team was not to be trusted because they didn't believe in God. If I'm not part of your team and you call me unbeliever, so be it. I'm unbeliever. Because I don't want to be part of your team. Because your team is fake. Believe me. When I challenge your teaching, so I become unbeliever. That's how they work. Or they call heretics like Catholic Church. What is heretic? Heretic, what is it? It's something outside of the God, teaching of God. Or they call heretics, or they call me unbeliever. That's what they can say. You can call me unbeliever, but I continue exposing the lies of the church. Pay attention, you guys. Pay attention. Let me close my sermon today. If you make a mistake, your life is not a mess. Even if you can mistake after mistake after mistakes, but your life is not a mess. Believe me. Suppose you make mistakes after mistakes after mistakes. Still, your life is not a mess. Of course, you may face the consequences of your choices, but your life is not a mess. You don't need to run. Even I post something in the Facebook that to reach your goal, you don't need to run. Even if you want to lose weight, even you want to flat your belly, you don't need to run in the stadium or somewhere else. You don't need to run. Just write your journal and stick to your journal. And you will see the results. Sometimes I call myself a liar, but actually it's not. I'm not a liar. Because I'm making mistakes. I'm not like those false teacher of the church. Me, I don't make any mistakes. I'm not like them. And I don't want to be like them at all. And what's the best of my decision to get out of those churches. And some churches preach that, oh, when you die, there is some ugly creature in another world, hello, from another world, there is ugly creature that they torture you. And somebody saw that and they preach in the church. I don't believe in it. Because ugly creature, they suffer themselves. They cannot torture somebody else and they laugh. Ha 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 ha. No, it's not like this in the other world. It's not like that. Those are the 5 lies of the church. Next week, I will come with the new topic. Peace of God be with you all.